Yo, what's good? It's your man, 100 Grand Ross with The Rock Never Stops. Scoot Henderson and LaMelo Ball. A match made in heaven? I want to dive into that in this video. If you enjoy it, smash the like button for me, hit subscribe and the bell for notifications. Scoot Henderson, if you watched him with the G League Ignite, he reminds me of a young Baron Davis, except in shape. Not as pudgy, not as round. But he has that physical body, kind of built like a linebacker, but extremely explosive and extremely skilled at the point guard position. His ability to play in and out off the pick and roll, in that in-between part of the game with change of speed, and his ability to finish at the rim explosively or with touch with either hand is really a rare pairing of power, athleticism, and skill. Not to mention, he's an extreme competitor and a floor general. But then you have LaMelo Ball, seemingly almost the polar opposite. Instead of being 6'2", he's 6'7". He generally prefers to play on the perimeter, from the exterior, and in transition where he can throw the ball ahead, throwing alley-oops. An amazing, amazing passer with great floor vision, very unselfish, but also a high-volume three-point shooter. But the area that he struggled in just happens to be the strength for Scoot Henderson. His ability to get to the rim and break down the defense consistently, especially in moments of high intense pressure when the playoffs start. Or for the Charlotte Hornets to play in, because they haven't gotten out of it in the early LaMelo Ball tenure. You see, LaMelo Ball is built a little bit differently. He's not the linebacker. He's a little bit more svelte. Kind of more on the Sean Livingston build. He's thin, wiry, he's putting on some weight, but he's never going to be mistaken for a bulldozer. He's never going to be that physically imposing point guard that's able to get a guy on his hip and just kind of knock him off. I think maybe at the peak or prime of his career, he might have a little bit of that, but it's not his natural game style. But for Scoot Henderson, it definitely is. Being able to impose his physical will on opposing point guards in order to get into the teeth of the defense, collapsing it and kicking it out or finishing is something that he seems to be able to do in his sleep. But now, why do I say that it could be a match made in heaven? Because each of their strengths complements one another that I believe is actually potentially going to be able to prolong both of their careers. We've seen with very athletic point guards who are very explosive, at times it begins to wear on them. You have an 82-game season, plus the playoffs, and all the travel. You begin to see their bodies wear down with the physicality and explosiveness that they're constantly playing with. And so as a result, you need to have a secondary, if not primary, ball handler alongside of them. Someone that they can take plays off with, that they can reserve their energy and their effort with. That they can say, hey, you know what? You run the point, I'm going to play the perimeter on this one. Or I'm going to backdoor instead of having to come off this pick and roll and deal with this double team. And LaMelo Ball is primed for that. His ability to shoot from the outside, and at 6'7" is going to be able to guard either off guards or small forwards, rather than having to get stuck defending a point guard. Now, Terry Rozier has kind of had that responsibility, but he's never been suited for it. He doesn't have the body or the mentality for it. But yet, Scoot Henderson, at 6'2", a little over 200 pounds with a 6'9" wingspan, has not just the physical ability, but he has a talent to be able to dominate guards just from a physicality standpoint. And as a result, he can draw a lot of those assignments, taking that pressure off of LaMelo Ball on the defensive end. But now as we consider seeing them next season, right, LaMelo Ball coming off another injury, unfortunately, right? He should be back for the beginning of the season, I believe. And you look at a backcourt with Scoot Henderson and LaMelo Ball. Both of them excellent passers, being able to get guys involved and hopefully be able to redeem Miles Bridges' career. After sitting out all last season because of the domestic violence case, he's looking to earn his way back into the good graces of this team. But if I'm honest with you, a couple seasons ago, when he was a high-usage player in a contract year, despite having one of his better seasons, he never seemed like he was suited for that primary scoring role that he kind of took on. And we saw that in the play-in, he he was extremely ineffective and inefficient. I believe a lot of his scoring output was due to the playmaking of LaMelo Ball, much in the way that guys like Richard Jefferson benefited from playing with Jason Kidd, guys who could set them up, put them in the right place, and get them easy buckets to get them going. But in the playoffs, when that couldn't happen, and that transition game was taken away and those lobs were taken away, he struggled to create for himself. But now you have Scoot Henderson. Scoot's ability to break down the defense and collapse it, kicking out for guys like Miles Bridges, Gordon Hayward, P.J. Washington, and also throwing lobs to center Mark Williams. This allows other guys to fill into more natural roles of spot-up players, guys who play off the ball, and allow somebody else who's better suited to consistently get into the teeth of the defense and make the game easy for them on the offensive end. This is what Scoot Henderson brings to the table. We all know what LaMelo Ball brings to the table. Electric passing, able to run the fast break as good as any point guard in the NBA. He can shoot from the outside. He's not scared of the moment, but he's not always suited to do some of the things that Scoot Henderson does. Now, the outlook for next season, I think this is a playoff team with Scoot Henderson. When you look at how close that they've gotten the last few seasons, they were a play-in team just missing the right piece to be able to allow them to play a more effective brand of basketball when it comes to winning in those intense situations. I think next season they'll be just as good as any Atlanta Hawks team or even potentially a Cleveland Cavalier team. But that's yet to be seen. But as always, I want to know what y'all think. Do you think that Scoot Henderson and LaMelo Ball are a match made in heaven? Or do you think that they're going to struggle to share the ball at the point? Let me know what you think in the comment section. I'm going to holler at y'all next time. Peace.